adjustment to the overall to the stream. So anyways, back at it here. So we are going to be transplanting. Is what we're going to be doing. This wish there was a way I could stack these up so you could be here and it wouldn't look so flippin' awkward. You know, like I've had a table here that we could work on in front of each other. I don't know if that's going to be an option for me here today. Let's take a second. I got a few things I got time here. Wonder if that won't work, that won't work, that won't work. These guys are all connected. Be a big mess for me to get something set up in here, I think. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe we're gonna play around today because I want to have a good show here. So maybe we'll try something different here. Have you guys come over right here. Oop, no, that's not gonna work. So I think I have you guys right here safely, I think is probably going to be the question. Can I get you there safely? And I think I can find a way to do that. So let's see. Okay, I think this will work. Yeah, we'll make this work, guys. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I think it'll do. Yeah. You can see what's going on and we do that. Yeah, let's do this. All right. Decisions were made. Well, where did I put? Oh, here we go. Let me get this out here for sure. Had the heater going in here for a bit. So we are going to be working on these tomatoes. Okay, so that's part of the problem. Need something heavy enough up front here. Keep this guy from going somewhere. There we go. All right, everybody. Making some adjustments today. We've got a little bit of work we got to do here. Trying to bring in a different look for you on the mobile. So we're transplanting our tomatoes here. I got the first couple I got to get through here. So again, we are transplanting. We see how their roots are starting to do their thing. And we're just taking them over and we're putting them in just a little bit larger pots here. I've got some 4-inch ones over here and they're, you know, let's say pint-sized might be the right way to put that. This is definitely pint-sized. Those are probably more like 2 pints. But what we're trying to do is get them into these the larger pots so they don't end up getting root bound. That's the biggest worry. And the potting soil that we're using here is a mix, and we're going to mix them up here in a little bit because I'm almost out. We only got a couple more. If you were on the stream from a couple days ago, you will know that we had already been a little busy here. Getting started with these guys. See, getting them going. We want to make sure they're taken care of. And I've got plenty of space for them. We are going to run out of space, which is fine. It's my favorite thing to do. It means that we've got a lot of stuff in the greenhouse. Again, for those that haven't joined before, joined the show before, welcome. My name's Ryan. Come here in the greenhouse pretty consistently during the spring. We've already been in here most of the, starting in February, I think was my first actual broadcast that we had. And we have typically, I come live. Hey, Eagle on top, what's happening? Good to see you. Typically when we come live, I'm on my regular YouTube channel, not the shorts, and I have an overhead view that we use. So if you'd like to see that as I'm working on stuff and around, and when we're in the garden, I use the larger format typically. Be sure to subscribe. Do this thing right here. I know it's backwards for y'all, but I got to get some made up that are backwards. Hey, Red, if you're watching, let's see if we can order and find some backwards subscribe signs. See if that'll help on these mobiles. So, but again, these are my tomatoes. These are all determinate tomatoes. So these are bush style. They're all going to grow. And you can see, whoop, got them, saved them. We're just getting some good root action here. We want to give them more room to grow. That's the idea here. So we are going to be loading them up. Now, with this, on the tomatoes, I'm burying the tomato, pretty far down, because it's got, and you guys can probably see on the tomato, little white hairs that it's got right there. If you can see them right there. It's kind of hard with the focus there. Those will turn into those will actually turn into roots. It's, you know, these plants, the way they're designed. So we want to get them down. Once they're at a certain height, bury them down a little bit more. And then that'll increase your root stuff. Now, those roots that they make here, they are somewhat for nutrition, but they're mostly just for stability too. So that's the other thing. They grow just out a little bit. And doing this. So we are living our best lives here. You can see we're already starting to get here. Now these, I want to show you the difference. This one, so these were planted at the same time. You see the difference that we got here? Oh, thank you, Eagle on top. I appreciate that. You see the difference in the size? This one has been in the container for a week. This one is just now getting, I haven't had a chance to repot them, and you can just see the difference on the overall size, okay? Like that's what we end up happening. That's why we need to get them over here. Once they get going, we want to get them as much space as we can. And, you know, looking at the long range, I should be able to get these guys out into the garden here. I'm in northern Michigan, by the way. Like I said, I had snow this morning. You know, whatever. Boo. Didn't like that one bit. But with the snow, I've got lettuce, I've got some spinach, I got some other stuff out there right now. That was just kind of laughing during that snow. It's more annoying than anything. So these, it's looking on the long range like we should only have maybe 3 or 4 more days of like real worrisome frost. You see what we're working with here, guys. So my hope is that in a month from now, roughly in a month, I'll be able to get doing this as far as gardening or just on YouTube. I grew up as a farmer, so we did the, you know, we had a garden growing up, and I had a whole farm. But as far as doing this on YouTube, it's a little over a year now, maybe a year. I think it was November of 2023 where I started doing this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Soto. Yeah. Hey Soto. Welcome. Good to see you again. So I'm going to take care of Eagle's question, is how long I've been doing this. And that is, again, since about November of 2023. I started this actually. I'm a business coach to help my clients. I wanted to learn more about YouTube Shorts and going live and TikTok and everything. So I started doing all the social media so I could learn more to be able to advise my clients. And then I found out I actually kind of enjoy this too. It's a lot of fun. So I'm really close to getting monetized as well. I think I'm almost at 850 subscribers. I've got the first level of monetization, but for the full, I got to get to 1,000. So please share, subscribe, etc. And also, don't be surprised if you see me doing my face on a business stuff too, right, Soto? It was good to have you hop on this morning on the chat. It's always fun when I get people on the business one for the chat. As far as for the cocoa coir and with the potting soil mix, and there is compost, yes, but that I only use the compost. It doesn't go into this. When I transplant out into the garden, there's compost is the top layer, so that's where my compost comes in. I don't use it in here, mainly just because it's not, I don't screen my compost. So, and when I put it out there, it's extra steps. I'm trying to get organic matter in. So when I'm doing my compost, it's meant to be a top cover more than anything. And then it just kind of drills down that, and also for compost tea. So hopefully that answers your question. So getting these guys going. It's cool. I love seeing familiar faces kept popping back up on here. It's so much fun when we get to catch up. So, how are things in Jersey? You guys gotta be warm. You must be warming up like crazy by now. I can't imagine you guys are too cold. Probably not getting snow like us. That was just sad this morning. All the dang snow coming down. Dogs don't even want to go outside. They're like, nope. And I've got a blue Merle Rough Collie. About 60s. We had some 60s the other day now, and I think we got 20 overnight coming. So again, looking pretty good here. Not overly upset with where the tomatoes at, and where I'm at, to be quite honest. Any tomatoes that are grown in this region that are already up and going to be able to be transplanted are better than what we would get with seeds and everything. So I got one of my clients. I'm gonna be heading over to see the young man, their son, who owns a greenhouse and like a little farmer's market like thing. So I'm gonna go and stop and go see him this week. We've got some work to do in this retail, so that's gonna be fun. We talk about all the greenhouse stuff and everything. He let me, if he goes, I've got a short where he let me go wander around his greenhouse and stuff was getting set up. That was fun. You know, seeing how the actual grown-ups do it. Those grown-ups, they know what's going on. I think I want, okay, that's going to be for flowers. That's flowers, that's flowers. I think I can get away with one of these. 1, 2, 3. We'll undo this one. I want to have a spot to put these tomatoes in to make sure that they're being bottom watered, at least to start. Okay. All right. So fortunately, I'm running out of these, so we're going to be moving over to, you know, the old standby plastic cups here. But it is what it is. All right, almost done with this one. I want to make sure we got a good mix here, so you guys can see as I do my mix. And what's nice about this, doing the doing the shorts here, you guys, we have to walk around my garden a little bit here. Go check in on the chickens in a little while. They're doing so good. So that's a nice root. Oh, that looks lots of happiness right there. Love that for us. And we're just going to get rid of these. And again, I like to get rid of those. Now, just to be clear, as everybody who's watching, I am not a professional in any of this. I'm just a dude who comes on YouTube and, you know, does this. But, you know, like I said, like coming here, we just kind of like to BS a little bit and talk gardening stuff. It's gonna be fun. I'm pretty excited. This weekend it was 60 degrees, and my cousin, he just sent me a note on X, on Twitter, and he was like, "Let me guess, you were in the garden all day." I was like, "I was in the garden all day, hands in dirt." It was great. So we love that. Now these are gonna take off. That's the one thing with these bush style, since they've got a little head start on them here. They are going to be just off to the races once we get them out and they get warm. You know, I cheated today. I had my heater running for the last hour. We haven't had any sun. It's been rainy and just yuck. So, okay, so I'm going to move you guys back over to my stand here. So I'm going to transplant you real quick. Here. Sorry. It's real action going on here, folks. Tighten that up. Get you right about there. That should work. All right, I think. You guys aren't falling. Cool. All right. So we're going to mix up our next batch here. This guy should... Oh, no. All right. Guess what I forgot to do? We're going to go and... let's go for a walk, guys. We are going to go and water or fill up my... Oh, wait, is the hose here? Never mind. The hose is here. I'm going to fill it up out here. All right, I didn't leave for too long. I'm still here, guys. All right, so let's go. Let's go for a little walk. Go for a little walk here. Over. All right, there we go. So yesterday we put butterfly bush in that Mom gave me. So we had that on a quick little stream. That was fun. Let me just get this thing filled up and then we'll get back to work. So I didn't do my proper stream prep. Thought this was full. Surprise, it's not. But yeah, my chickens did not want to be outside today. It was just sleet, snow, just all sorts of crap. So every time I came out, they're looking at me like, "Hey man, can we go back to the brooder? It's like warm in there." But they're doing well. So we're filling this up right now because for the potting soil, the potting mix that I put together, we always pre-soak it. So it's going to be mixed up in the actual bucket. Oops, do that. You're awful tall there. So it's going to be mixed up in the bucket, and then we're going to do our thing. Because the potting soil, as most of you know, is hydrophobic. It does not. Hydrophobic, hygrophobic, each one of those. You know, it's terrible. I should know the types that I have. They're brown. I have brown chickens. I don't remember the names of the types. I just know that they were cute, and I'm like, these guys are cute. These are the chickens I'm getting. So I got three brown ones. I've got one that's white. It's molting at the moment. It's in the brooder, and that white one's in there with two that are they could come out here. Yeah, aren't they cute, Soto? They're gorgeous. I love them. And then I got the other two. They're feathered, but they're younger. They're black. They're black and white, I think is. So I have no idea what the chicken names are. I'm like the worst when it comes to that. Okay, so we have our pre-soaked. Oh yeah, they love their coop. I would hope so, especially considering how much time you and I invested in that chicken coop, Soto. So I've got my coconut. So this is basically, oh, how much is this? It's a third. So we're gonna mix the full thing up. So this is a third of the bucket. This is just my mixing bucket here. So, and I want to get this bottom kind of loosened up because where all the water goes down to. So when you mix this up, for those that haven't seen it before, the coconut comes like in brick fashion, solid bricks that you have to soak ahead of time, which we did. So we all good there. And then we're going to mix up the rest. Mix in at least another third, probably half of this bucket. I'm just going to put in with potting soil and mix it in. There we go. All right, time to make a mess. And so many people, there we go, a little bit more than half, more than half, but that's about right. Yeah. So again, for those that are watching and they've seen it before, you can pre-screen, and for a lot of folks I recommend pre-screening by screen I mean actually screening with like 1/4 inch screen your potting soil mix. You absolutely can, because I mean, I can just find it real quick here. Found one, here's two. Where's two? Here we go. And they broke apart though, and that's the other side of it. So you end up with these chunks of wood in your potting soil that are tough for seedlings to get through. Okay, I don't worry about that. I really don't. The initial, I'm gonna get my experience, that initial thrust that the seed has when it is forcing its way through, it'll push through whatever it has to get going on the initial. Once they are of a certain size, like, you know, we're here, you know, this is where we want to be worried about, you know, how much effort they're putting into rooting and stuff. That initial seed, it's got enough power already built in to do what it's got to do. I've never had an issue with it. I know there's folks that are purists on it, and hey, listen, do you know, that's what I always come back to here. If you want to screen your stuff, by all means, go ahead. It is not a problem. It's just something I just don't do. I'm thinking about, you know, trying it this year to give it a go, but honestly, I just didn't want to put the effort into it. We're already in here doing all this stuff. And then, all right, let me get my mixing stick here. I want to get this mixed up first. Quality, by the way, you can find these quality mixing sticks around trees if you ever need one. That's where they exist. Always need a good mixing stick. All right, so there we go. I know it's gonna be hard to see on the camera, but now we've got little red specks in there with the darker specks, right? That's what we're looking for. Just a nice little mixture of all of them. Because that, you know, when you look at this stuff, it doesn't compact the coconut and it just holds on to moisture. Like, that's what I love about it. Like, they have to put it into a press to compress it down and make it solid. It doesn't like to do that normally. All right, so we're going to give this a little bit of love. It's already got a lot of water in it with the coconut, but we are going to help out the potting soil a little bit here. There we go. And then mix up some more. I can always tell, by the way, and I'll show you in a second, with my greenhouse, it's coming along really well too. The heat's staying pretty well because I got my grasses and my friends, my longer wild lettuce, they're growing down here too. So, and yes, you can eat the wild lettuce if you identify it correctly. Just don't eat too much of it, folks. It's well, we'll just say this much. It's a hallucinogen. So I have it in here because it doesn't hurt anything to have it growing. And I just trim it down a couple times. Anything we have growing, the grasses and the other stuff, doesn't bother me in the slightest. I love it. Got more stuff growing. Okay, so let's get you back over here. Get you reset into, show you my lettuce growing. Oh, let me get my door. Let the heat out. So, man, that is not loosening up. There we go. There we go. Again, live video, folks. Is what you come to YouTube Shorts for. Okay, so a couple things. Let's do a little tour while we're doing this here. I think it'll be fun. So we've got, here's my bok choy. It needs to go out in the garden. It's definitely there. Got a couple beets. I'm going to separate those up. I just made a ton of celery. I was like, I'm making a bunch of celery this year. I said, I'm just dumping in all the seeds and let's do that. You can see the row of tomatoes all doing their thing, right? Back here, got my brassicas and they're doing their thing. Got here. And by the way, they bolted. It got too warm. But we're still going to let it grow. Swiss chard. Doesn't that look pretty? I love this stuff. It's going to be great. And as I was mentioning, got this guy growing wild back there, which is fine. He ain't hurting nobody. So we're going to let him do his thing. Okay, so back to work here, right? I'm here to work today. Cool. All right. Back at it. Let's get this bucket out of the way. Get this guy there. Cool. All right, so my hope is that once we get this done, I think, again, I'm just double checking the time here. Oh yeah, we're cruising. I'm going to be able to do some flower seeds today too, so that'll be fun. Get some marigolds growing. My mom was asking about marigolds, how the flowers were coming along, so she's already doing her nosy Parker thing, which is fine. I grow flowers for my mom and myself. It's just once she knows I'm doing something for her, it's she expects an update like every day. So yeah, I just got to mentally prepare for that, you know. All right. Here we go. So again, this is good. Like I said, we've got them loose here. We got these over here. You know, we want to get out in front of these cats before they get root bound. That is the goal. And I'm just going to help them out here. Get these guys off. Okay. Listen. So yeah, today was literally nothing but client calls for me. Lots of client calls. Lots of people getting worried about the economy. I don't know if you guys are seeing that or hearing that in your area, but we got lots of folks worried about it around here in Michigan. So I'm just trying to help them out, you know, mentally, so they know what to work on, what to focus on, and try not to worry about things they can't control, you know. That's that piece. We all probably spend a little bit too much time worrying about stuff that we have no control over. Used to be me. Then you know, over time, I had some stuff with my grandpa, but it was just over time, just learned not to do it. Now this poor guy, has been struggling. And I'm debating whether or not, I mean, he's going to come in here, but I'm debating whether or not this one's even going to be worth the time and energy. But we're not going to give up on him. He's been struggling. I don't know why. Really don't. But we're going to see what we can do to give him the best shot to grow. It's always, so this is what I was talking about when you screen your stuff. You end up with stuff like this if you don't screen. You know, so, but like I say, when I'm doing my seedlings, like, and we're doing that, I'm by hand, I'm going through and just checking stuff. So folks that have been on caught the live stream here before, you guys know I'm basically hand checking all this stuff so we don't end up with like a big thing just full of chunk of wood or whatever. All right, so we are on to cups, which is a shame, but is what it is. Okay, so we are going to just make sure that water can get out. That's the big piece here. Now these cups will be reutilized on stuff that I'm growing out there, because I have a mouse issue around here. They like to get in and eat my sunflowers. They love to eat my sunflowers when they're coming up. They'll, you know, obviously go dig up the seeds. Trying to get my neighbor's orange cat to help me out a little bit more. Being lazy lately though. So, is this too loud when I'm doing this here? I mean, I apologize, but you got to be quick, you know what I mean? To get through. Okay, we're doing real stuff here, folks. So again, I hope everybody is enjoying the stream so far. And this will be kind of neat to have these. I like these clear ones anyways, when I can get the, like, you get the bonnies, right? You get the bonnies here. I got my cilantro coming in. I do like it because you can keep a better eye on the roots here. So what we don't want to see is, and when you're looking at this, by the way, down is fine, coming out the bottom's fine, as long as you're in water. You don't want to see them doing this, where they're looping this way around. That's called root bound. Bad things happen once that starts happening. So we'll get out in front. That cilantro will be out in the garden here in a week or so. It'll be fine. It's a little snug right now in here. So yeah, we're just continuing on. So these are Mountain Magic. Yeah, these are Mountain Magic tomatoes. These are bush style. They're a determinate variety of tomatoes right here. So again, when we talk about determinate, as a reminder, determinate means it grows for a certain height, does all of its fruiting at once, and then it's done. Then we have indeterminate, which were the ones we did previously. We had a cherry variety and Romas. They grow for an indeterminate. They just keep growing and keep fruiting as long as it's warm, as long as it's, as long as you're giving them water, all the good stuff, right? That's where we're at. So it's going to block me there a little bit, but don't forget, if you haven't, really appreciate it. Okay. Hey, Sodo, are you still on there? If so, what have you put into the garden recently? Just curious. Let's see. Because this weekend we should be past all the yuck weather. Yeah, hey, yeah. So what's the last thing you put in the garden? Just curious. You know, you're ahead of me as far as, you know, all the temps and stuff. So I am jealous that you're rolling. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, Swiss chard, lettuce. Yeah. Oh, check this out. You'll love this. That's awesome. Check out my artichoke. Look at that guy. All inside the greenhouse still. Okay. What kind of tomatoes are you doing? You doing any beefsteak or anything? Oh, it's still too cold. You still got frost warnings in New Jersey, huh? That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, as soon as you know, I feel comfortable, like it's going to just maybe get down to 32-ish or so. Beefsteak, Mountain Magic. Okay, there you go. I'm excited for this Mountain Magic. It's my first time with it. But you know, it came highly recommended, so I'm going to give this thing a go. I'm guessing you've had some success with it. And beefsteaks are just great. I'm going to have other thing I love about my garden here is that I don't know what's going to be growing in the tomato section because I've got stuff that just keeps on growing. Oh, first time too. All right, well, we're going to have to compare notes. So with a Soto, if you can, you know, just for me, in the community tab on my, okay, yeah, I know, okay, Brandy boy, in the community tab, like on my page, when you're getting your tomatoes and everything up, can you attach photos? And, you know, go in there and just say, hey, you know, I think there's an option where you can do stuff like that. I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm just figuring out YouTube as I'm going here. So, but I'm trying to get a way that we can get folks to leave some pictures so I can share them like on the streams and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty cool, you know, like we get a group of us here. I think it'd just be fun. See what we got going on, you know what I mean? Oh, and you know, so by the way, yeah, please, yeah, send them over my way. I think I think my Reddit page is still up, Summit Business Guides. I think it's what it's called. You can, you know, share something there too. But yeah, see if you can do it on I'd rather be on the community tab because Reddit's just awful. Just an awful place. Used to be wonderful and now it's not. Yeah, give that a go. So on my thumbnail today was probably the thumbnail today for today's video, my business video about the Coachella buy now pay later stuff. That was probably one of the more fun thumbnails to actually have Grok on Twitter or on X produce for me. Like that one was just fun, and it was really just like my usual characters. What did we end up naming those two? Susan and I think it was Susan and Heather maybe. It's gonna bother me now. My wife and I, we named the characters that I have on my stuff, but no, hey, so first of all, I'm not a good gardener. Just to be clear, I'm just a gardener. So don't think that. And by the way, just because I have a process, you know, I mean, you can go back and see stuff. I've had some success, but I'm just a gardener. Just a gardener. Let's see what you got. You know what I mean? We're all just figuring this out as we're going along. Don't worry about it. But anyways, that thumbnail that I did today with the Coachella stuff, that was probably one of the more fun ones to like do in Grok. It was just hilarious. Like, give me a redhead, the same redhead and brunette prompt that I have. I said, but instead of at business, they're at Coachella, waiting to go see someone at the main stage. They should all be happy. Let's have sunshine and be awesome. So, I know it's not my typical business ones that I talk about there, especially that buy now, pay later, but I tell you that nothing gets me more upset than when we're trying to get people to make better business decisions and better just financial decisions as a whole, right? And when they're doing something that isn't necessarily bad, but it's just not normal, and they try to demonize them for it. It just upsets me the way they do that too, and they try to call it something it isn't for clickbait, right? Yeah, there was a couple posts on X that I shared that video on that were doing the same thing, just kind of bad mouthing. So, okay, I can actually turn off my heat now. Whew, toasty in here. I turned off my heater. So yeah, it was a little frustrating, but that was a fun one. I'll be back in the office tomorrow. Got everything done I needed to get done here, but like today was mostly just client call day. All right, so we're continuing down here. This next one that I got is, what was the name of this one? Plum Regal. That's the other bush one that we got here. Plum Regal. So yeah, I'm gonna have a few going here. It'll be all right. And I'm still gonna go grab like a, early girl hybrid, excuse me, from Lowe's. That's still gonna happen. The sun came out. Yeah, it got bright in here. And it got warm. That explains it. All right. So I had my little dog out there in the garden with my I had my big dog Bonnie and my little dog Nugget. They were out with the chickens yesterday. I was like, I'm just going to introduce Nugget to the chickens. And she's a Cairn Terrier. Picked her up, just brought her over there, and she was having a field day with the chickens. She was just like up against the up thing, like sniffing them, like, what's going on over here? Not barking at them or anything. It was just kind of like, what are you guys doing? While my collie was looking at them saying, you guys look like weird dogs. Like, you could just tell that's what she was thinking. Like, you guys are just weird. I don't know what to do with you. It was pretty funny. So, all right, we are cruising here. These guys, I tell you, yeah, Toto, except brown. Yep, exactly. Toto, but brown. There you go. You know, there's less and less of us that we can say it that way because, you know, not everybody's watched the, you know, Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? Like that. They've seen less and less folks. I find the younger folks haven't really seen Wizard of Oz. They didn't get it on TV all the time like we did. You know, it was, you could tell the season by the movies being played, right? Like this time of year, case in point, right? We've got, what would be, Ben-Hur would be playing. Ben-Hur, was always playing during Easter time. And like, you know, so you knew, okay, Easter time, Ben-Hur is going to be on. You can watch it and watch the chariot thing, do the thing. Obviously Christmas time, they're still doing pretty good about it, but you know, where you get, It's a Wonderful Life, still one of my favorite films. I just love that. Oh yeah, trust me on this. I stopped worrying about dating how old I am. I get, like I said, I got this, as someone said, it's not salt and pepper, it's salt and paprika, right? I mean, and I got my little solar panel back here hidden behind my hat. I mean, I know I'm getting older, is what it is. You know, but yeah, it's definitely where we're talking about that. I know on some of the Utes that were watching the video this morning, or watch the thing on the Coachella, they're gonna be like, "What in the world is layaway? What in the world is that?" So I almost dropped blue light special on them, but I wasn't trying to. For the folks that are of a certain age, I wasn't trying to induce trauma either by bringing that up. Because that was the only time I was allowed to get shoes if they were on the blue light special stuff. And I know the redhead, I don't know if she's watching or not, but we always share our scary Kmart stories. Growing up, they look, I mean, I'm really happy with how healthy these look, you know, considering the lack of sun we've had so far this year. You know, they've just been getting the diffused light and everything, because I haven't been able to take this off because, you know, we haven't had consistent, you know, warmth. I think next week I should be able to pop this off and everybody should be getting some, you know, light isn't diffused. This year is going to be replacing most of these on this side. They're on year 3 and they're starting to yellow up and not as much light's coming through. So yeah, we're doing good. Look at that, folks. Look at us. We're almost professional at this. Look at that. I mean, in theory, I could be using this cool scoop that I got, but my hand works a lot better. So it's that Alton Brown. Hands are your best tool in the kitchen. Same thing in the garden. So again, just as a reminder, you know, folks that haven't been on the stream before, got these tools and everything, got bagged from the Organo Republic. Again, not sponsored or anything, but I definitely recommend go check them out. I know it's backwards for you guys, but organorepublic.com. I've talked to them on over email a couple times, and their customer service is just, I mean, they're just responsive. They seem like a really good group. So, you know, when I get out and it's garden time, you're going to hear me talking about them a lot more. So, doing good. Yesterday, got some morel mushrooms, or didn't pick them. Went out and just did the initial kind of walkthrough for one of my spots. I'm going to wait for the redhead to be here so we can take her out mushrooming with me. So we're going to do a video on mushrooming up here in Michigan. And I found a couple morels right where they should be. Right at the base of the trees that they should be. So that's always a good sign. So we expect in the next 10 days or so, they should be right size, ready to go. But we'll be out there a couple times over the next week, just eyeballing. And because of where they're at in the sun and different areas like that, the mushrooms, they come up at different times as they warm. The soil's got to be 50 degrees for a number of days in a row. Then they'll fruit. You get the mushrooms up. So that's going to be a thing. We're probably going to end up, just, Red, if you're listening, probably going to have to run the dehydrator probably 5 times this year. I think they're going to be, because of the lack of sun and the way it was, I think we're going to have basically the one section, and then the interior of that will take off maybe a week later. So, which is fine. We've got, sorry about the noise. We've got a lot of ground to cover, especially if you'll be with me. We can do much more. But yeah, I love morel, hunting for morels. It's so great. I tried to do I did a live stream when I was actually out last year. The video was garbage, but people were hanging out with me and we were talking, and we were searching for, we were hunting mushrooms in real time. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. This year I won't be able to, so it's going to have to be recorded. I might give it a try. You never know. But chances are good it's not going to be an option. Got a gentleman from Louisiana was all asking me a million questions about getting mushrooms, the morel and edible kinds, and he ended up, I got him connected with a mushroom hunting club in Louisiana, so he was able to, from the stream, we worked it out, and he got connected, and he was out hunting mushrooms. And we have venison in the freezer, so everything that we want. I got potatoes and onions, so it's gonna be great. We just gotta get the mushrooms. They're gonna be good. Venison and morels is, done correctly, is so great. Everything you want and more. Okay, I'm doing this guy a little bit sideways here, so let me get an extra hand in here, because he's all the way over here. There we go. So you can see here, these guys definitely, do I hunt? I used to, I don't do it anymore. I'm thinking maybe about starting up though again. I do kind of miss it. Going out there, bow hunting. Rifle hunting was never really my thing. I killed so many deer during the summer. We had summer hunting, where the state paid us to kill deer, and we gave the meat to needy families to kind of keep the deer population under control, which, in Michigan, they're basically rats. You can kill 20 deer a year in Michigan. If everyone killed 20 deer a year in Michigan, we would still have an out-of-control population. It's insane. So, but we had a friend's daughter. She's been hunting lately, so she took care of my deer this year. But I think this year I'm going to hunt. I think I'm going to go and get in a tree stand and just go get me some deer. Because I enjoyed it. It was, oh, hey, Lincoln Yate. Oh, they go through your property? Yeah. Thank you for the nice, hey, I appreciate that, Lincoln. Thank you. You have a great day yourself. You have deer? Yeah, we have deer. I have deer that are on this property, and it's only a half acre. They come over and they ate all of my impatiens last year. They're just munching on them. They can never grow. Yeah. Oh, you're good. Good for you. That's awesome, man. Hey, Lincoln, real quick, do you garden at all? Just curious. You do garden. What do you grow? Are you like, do you have a full garden? Is it containers? Like, what do you have? We get a variety of folks. I had this one individual from, he's in Qatar. So yeah. Oh, hey, later, Soto. Take care. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Appreciate you. Don't forget those photos, right? We want to see some pics. Yeah, I had an individual who was in Dubai that has had a container garden on their balcony. That was pretty cool. So we were chatting with them last year. So we loved it. Okay. Just getting that one filled up. So we are continuing on here, folks, just transplanting our tomatoes. And again, this is only for to get us through for basically like a month. They'll be in here for a month. They're gonna get all big and happy, and then we're gonna get them out in the garden here, just on the other side of here. It'll be great. Oh yeah, the sun's coming out. I can feel it. Oh yeah, heck yeah. Been needing this for a while. But these, okay, so this is what I was talking about. If you guys haven't been on here, this is a great example. Do you see how the roots are starting to go horizontal instead of vertical? That's referred to as far as getting close to getting root bound. See how I can pull those leaves, those back. You don't want the roots wrapping around. That's never good. So we're gonna just kind of help them out there a little bit so they can spread out. Cool. All right. Yeah, we do not want that. What that does is it chokes off the growth, is what it does, because as it gets bigger, it constricts down around the actual, like the root ball and the roots and everything. We don't like that. That's no good for anyone. Not good for the plant, not good for fruiting, not good for any. So I am going to grow some red cap mushrooms this year. I just got to order them, and I'm just going to toss those in my garden. Just going to randomly just throw the stuff out and let them grow along a couple of the pathways there, so we can have some fresh red cap mushrooms. That'll be great. So we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. We got 8 left to go here, and then yeah, we can spend an hour doing seed as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a long stream today. I think so. I think we're gonna do a longer stream. So yeah, today was definitely a good day. I had a lot of client calls. Had some really productive client calls. So always good when we got, and I had a couple sales calls too, as well. So for those who don't know, I'm a business coach. If you subscribe, you get a chance to see my business stuff as well too. I share basically information that I share with my clients. The folks that pay me, I share a lot of it free on the YouTubes, the generic version of it, not the specific stuff I work with my clients. But like today, like I said, today was Coachella. I can't believe that I actually did a video on Coachella today, but it was pertinent. Like it actually applied to some of my clients. So I did a thing on Coachella. 46 years old. You know, I'm not there to go see Charlie XCX. It's nothing that I do, but there I was having a video about Coachella. It's the little things, folks. All right, so I'm starting to run out of space there. We're gonna have to move up here, and then these are okay. I guess these guys can move. These are just they're gonna make their way out here shortly tomorrow, this weekend, anyways. But these are. I've got a whole bunch of onions. Oh, and honestly, I forgot. It's been a month on these guys, and I forgot what I put in here. So they're probably going to go in somewhere, and we'll find out what they are in about 120 days, give or take. So we're just going to pop these guys right down right here for now. But we'll get them out of the way. They're going to go into the garden. So I need a spot for my tomatoes. All right, so we're doing this in real time, folks. This is like I always say, we're doing it live. So you're gonna see some of the mess. Nothing about this is produced. I can promise you that. So I do have these. These are great. These are all my leeks. It's good. I can't wait to have these leeks. I'm going to get these out there probably this weekend too, and just let them go nuts. So. Oh, hey, Victoria, welcome. Is this your first time on the stream? Don't be scared of tomatoes. Tomatoes have flowers. No reason to be scared of them. So, yeah, have you tried tomatoes at all? And where are you watching from? That's actually a better question, because I might be able to give some advice on. Oh, look at that on my right. There I was on the recommended. Who would have thought? Yeah, we're transplanting the last few of my tomatoes here. Here's all the rest of them. Bunches and bunches and bunches. Florida zone. Okay. Oh, you can do tomatoes down there. Heck yeah, you can. What I would recommend for you, get you, do some container ones. That's probably going to be your best bet. Do some container ones. So, you want to start them inside, you know, get them, you can get little, what do I got here? I've got one of the containers that I use here. They're just little, about this size. You can just get them started. And once they're up, once they're up, just put them on, just put them on your, if you got a patio, I don't know if you're in an apartment or if you got a house, but just get them out in the sun, keep them watered. And what you'll want to do, and this, again, you'll want to write this down, Victoria, this is important. You want indeterminate. It'll be on the, tomatoes love the sun. So tomatoes are a desert plant. That's what they love, high heat. It's like their favorite thing ever. A lot of sun. Yeah, indeterminate. Yep, exactly. So I'm going to show you on, what are my tomato plants? Tomatoes. How do I not have any? All right, wait, I was going to show you on this. So we're going to pretend that these collard seeds we're going to pretend now, right? Pretend hat are tomatoes, right? And when you go on the back of your tomato thing, all the way down at the bottom of the writing here, it's going to say the word either determinate variety or indeterminate. You want indeterminate, especially in the heat like you're going to have. So, and what it means by indeterminate, they just keep growing. They're a vine, so they're going to grow and grow. And if you have a patio, so you can just set them up to trellis and have them go as high as you want. Just keep supporting them with some, use whatever you want to use, some rope or whatever. Determinate, which are these varieties that I have right here. This one is, this is Plum Regal is the name of this one. This is a determinate variety. They all look the same when they're young. It grows to a certain height and does all of its fruiting at once, and then it's done. That's the difference that you have between indeterminate and determinate. So I have indeterminate varieties that are over this direction, and I also have these determinate ones, and these are for canning. The indeterminate ones I'll can for a second bit, but they're also so I can just eat tomatoes throughout the year, right? So starting pretty soon here, I'll have tomatoes fruiting. I was pulling them off in October last year still. Not like a perennial. They're not a perennial, they're a seasonal, so they go for one. They're only good for the one, but they can seed themselves, reseed. And you can read up on all that, but yeah, end of the day. Oh, an annual, yes, they are an annual, 100% correct, exactly like that. Think of it just like you're putting, let me think here. What would be a good thing? Okay, so again, you're putting, I'm going to be starting here once I get done with these tomatoes. I'm starting some marigolds, some zinnias, and some cleomes. So we're going to do that on the stream here after tomatoes. I just decided I'm going to keep rolling with it here. It's a nice day out. So it's the same principle. Get them up. They're annuals. Put them into place. They do their thing, look pretty, and then off they go. But hopefully I've earned your subscription today, Victoria. Hopefully a little bit of advice has got you to sub. That would be dope. I'm inching closer to being monetized here, and every one of those helps. So again, this is what we're looking for. This is better. See how we got this? See how we got these nice and loose here? We're good. We're going to get him buried nice and deep. I'm actually going to pull out a little bit more here. I want this guy down a little further. There we go. Do some trimming. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I love the subscription. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is just kind of like my side thing. I'm a business coach by trade. And on my channel, by the way, don't be surprised, Victoria, if you start seeing thumbnails with a redhead and a brunette. They're my characters, and you see me with glasses on talking about business stuff. So just understand, I do both. So don't be surprised. So you'll learn some business stuff too after subscribing with me. So, but yeah, so again, and these, so again, the Plum Regal, they make, actually, I think I know, we'll say this. mid-sized potato-sized fruit. That's what they make. All right, like plum looking. What you got for a question? Okay, so you weren't here earlier. So for those that are on right now, we can hit this up again. No big deal. We can take a moment. We love teaching on this channel. So what I use, I don't use seed starting mix. If you're comfortable doing that, go ahead. This is just my version because I like to mix stuff up here a little bit because of what I have. So we'll open this up. So we've got, I know it's backwards for you guys, but it's premium coconut pith, right? Which is, show you where it comes like here. I use this. It comes in these blocks. Sorry, I gotta open it up here because it's protected. They come out, buddy. So I order this off of Amazon, and I use this, which is, you know, the husk and everything you get from coconut. They compress it down, right, and crush it up, and ends up in this stuff. You rehydrate it with water. So that's why I've got my buckets down here. Put these guys back here. I probably am gonna have, you know what? I'm probably gonna have to rehydrate one because, so glad you asked that. I gotta dump some water in there, get one going while we're doing busy here, because if I'm gonna do my, turn that over here. There you go. If we're gonna do my seeds, we're gonna have this. So what I do is I mix 1/3 of a 5-gallon bucket. Again, you can figure out your own ratio, and then half of a bucket of the Miracle-Gro potting soil. And what that does, I can show you some of the pith just by itself. That should be enough to get him going. So this is just the coconut stuff by itself with a little bit of potting soil in there. It just stays moist. It likes to hold on to it, but it doesn't have any structure. That's where the Miracle-Gro comes in. So I just kind of like do both. So there's more organic matter and support and stuff like that. So that's the idea. Yeah. Hey Rosario, how are you? Thanks for hopping on. So yeah, so we're gonna mix up some more of that here in a little bit once that coconut does this thing, and you'll see. I mean, I'll grab it here in a second. It gets all puffy and swollen up there. So we just kind of mix that up in there, and that's what this is. So you can see my mix there. So it's got a little bit of the red in there, but I like the Miracle-Gro too because they include the little fertilizer pellets in there too. And there's organic matter and all the good stuff. Okay. All right, so we got these last 6 to do, and then we're gonna start thinking about our seeds, which I got from last year's crop. All right, I had my marigolds, saved them up. Same thing with my zinnias and my cleomes. So we did good there. Basically, I just, once they dried out, I went and grabbed a bunch of them. I left the rest of them up. I like to, oops, getting ahead of myself. I like to have, like for my perennials and everything, I don't trim them down. So like all of my cone flowers and everything, all of my flowers, I leave them up over the winter. So that way the seeders, the birds, the seed eaters, they can come through and they have snacks. You know, it's just a little thing that I do to make sure that they do well and make it. So once they dried out, you know, and they were done, I just went and grabbed the pods for the cleomes and, you know, deadheaded a bunch of marigolds. And what's nice about it is we're going to plant a bunch, do a bunch of them, knowing that, you know, my germination rate is probably going to be 80%. That's fine. That's fine. Because it cost me $0 for the seeds. Just pulled them off of the plants. So, here we go. So get these guys up here. Again, we're going to bottom water. What is that thing? That's weird. Some of the weird mold that grows in here cracks me up. Okay, so that same brick that we had, see how it's expanding out? And it's getting soft. So that's what we want. Soak it up. So we get through these last 6 here. get started on our seeds. And the seed, when we're doing the seeds, it goes quick, you know, obviously. As far as filling them out, so. But yeah, so with that, Victoria, don't be afraid. Grow your tomatoes. Trust me, they know what to do. Get them in soil, give them some water, give them some sun, and then just let them do their thing. And just enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we get to eat the fruits of their labor. Which I love. So we're gonna empty. Look at this guy, ready to go. That's what we're talking about. So, yeah, just finishing up the week here. I've got client work tomorrow, which is going to be great. I got one of my clients. We have a session. We'll get together, do some work. They've been doing really good work. Then it's just a few client calls, and then I'm off to California next week. So I'm going to be. You're going to see some hotel, small business news videos. So those that are familiar, when I travel, I try to always do a video at least every day. Kind of, keeps me, I enjoy doing the videos. Keeps me on top of things that are going on. My goal is to make sure that my clients are, ahead of the news cycle as best we can. So, all right, so we're down to the last 4 here. And again, as we're pulling these out and as we're transplanting these, our goal here we go. So, oh yeah, here you go. This is a good example. See how we got all those horizontal roots there? That's not what we're trying to do. I want to make sure that these come out here. It's not too bad, but that's recovery bound. But this is good down here. But we want to bury this guy basically up to where those leaves are at. See all those little white hairs down there? When those get in contact with the soil, they turn into roots. So that's what we want to do, is give this every opportunity to make as many roots as it can. Now they're not roots for nutrition. They're roots for stability. I mean, they do have some nutrition, but they're mostly for stability, which is really important for your tomatoes. You don't want them spending a lot of energy trying to stay stable. We want a nice rock solid piece for them, so they spend energy making fruit. So bury that guy right down to there, just like that. Okay, we are cruising. Oh man, I need more. What do I got left? I got 3. You know what? We're gonna have a little fun. I want to throw them in these guys. Typically I use these for like little flowers that I make, but it's only gonna be a ferment. So we'll put them in here. We just needed them to have a little bit extra space. We'll have a little fun with these guys. So make a nice depression for them here. They won't be as buried as the other ones, but that's okay. Oh, actually, I've got this guy here. I should bring this up so you guys can see. So he's with the water. I got a little guy right here, trying to steal some nutrients from the big guy. He's got to go. Later, fella. Go ahead and trim these off while I got it here too. And I just take these off because they're going to die off anyways. So we're going to get them gone. Get them gone while we can. And we're just going to reuse this exact this setup here for my seeds, for the flowers we're going to do. Quick, so you guys can see that looks pretty good. Real healthy right there. These roots were down in the water because this is bottom water underneath the tray. So that's great. So yeah, we're just going to get this little guy in here. These last 3, rather than banging up some more cups there. So again, welcome everybody who hasn't been on the stream before. If you have, welcome back. My name's Ryan. I work in the greenhouse here, like just on the side. I'm actually a business coach, but I do this for, fun. Now here in my greenhouse, we're working on vegetables right now, and technically fruits with, working with the fruits there. These tomatoes, these last 2. Oh, that sun's coming out. Sorry, I had snow this morning. It was so bad. I was so angry. Not angry, I was just more disappointed than anything. There we go. But anyways, I come here to work on these things. Horizontal roots we don't want. Not yet. We want them going down. Okay. That's okay though. We're getting it plenty early. But yeah, come here. But during the day, I'm a business coach, so you can find my small business news. If you guys actually have subscribed to small business news, that's why you're seeing me here. Why the heck the garden guy is showing up on your shorts feed? It's me. But later, if you subscribe here for garden stuff, don't be surprised when you see me doing some of the small business news. So good stuff. But anyways, we come here, we talk about gardening here, like in the greenhouse, and then out in my garden. We got chickens. I got a whole little mini little homestead. I got my orchard. I actually got a new, I picked up a, what did I pick up? Alberta peach. I had to replace one of my peaches that died over the winter. Didn't do well. Never took. That's okay. It happens sometimes. So I had to replace that yesterday along with a new butterfly bush. So like I said, these guys are really close to, they're not root bound yet, but man, they are getting close. So if you see these when you're transplanting and it's like really bad, these aren't too bad right now. See how I can just loosen them up? It's always best either cut off the bottom or just cut stripes down the side to loosen everything up. You want that to be as free as you can when you're doing your transplants. It's just not good for nutrition wise, for stability wise, all of the things. We want to make sure that those roots are nice and free. Cool. All right. So good job, guys. We got through all the tomatoes. Took us 2 streams, but we got through them. Now we're getting on to flowers. Flower time. Flower power. Excited about this. And get this out. This guy didn't take. So I've got a few of my, should return him back to where he came from. We are going to be filling this up. Refilling this. It's got water in it. I don't mind a little bit of soil that's in there. Do that there. Anybody who didn't make it, like I had some, the germination rate on these is, it's good, but it's not 100%. So you're always going to have some that fall through. Let's keep that soil in there. That's good there. That's fine. Everything smells okay. Cool. All right, we're going to refill this thing, and now we're going to get started. I'm going to do marigolds first. So if you've never done flowers before, they need, they're pretty simple, right? But we're going to show you the marigolds. Marigolds are cake. But we have potting soil, my mix that I do, which is coconut and the Miracle-Gro potting soil. I don't use seed starting mix. You can if you want. I just choose not to. The professionals, they've got their whole mixes that they make their own. This is just the one that I like right now. I'm going to adjust it next year and see what happens. Every year I kind of play around with the mix, see what I can find that's going to be, that's going to work best for me. Okay, so when you go through and start here, it's real simple. We're just going to be filling all the pods here. I'm a little closer for you. Let's see, make sure you guys are in there just a little bit more. There we go. So we're going to fill all these up, then we're going to come through and compress them down. To make sure we got it, they're full. We don't want air pockets. So number one thing with seeds, you do not want air pockets in these little pods here. Okay, because they look full when you fill them up like this. And then reality shows up as in a second here, and you'll see they're not full. Okay, because they have air pockets in them. And it's real simple. You just go back through and just push down with your finger. Just trying to compress it down. That's it. You can see the difference. I'll show you up here. You can see these ones have been compressed. They've got down quite a bit there. Maybe about a third. Some are half. It all depends. Like this one here, I got about halfway down on this. And that's what you want. You want to just compress it down. Don't assume that you've got the air pockets out. Because what will happen is the root, right? Here's your soil, here's your soil here. The root comes down and it doesn't feel anything, so it's going to have to go over here to the wall and come down, and it's wasting energy. So we just want it roots down, stems up, all right? Nothing to cause a problem with that. So we're going to take a little extra time and just press these all in. So we can get these going. Okay, then we're going to do the fun stuff, which is refill it again. Sorry, I got grass in there. Now, in this case, it'll be full. These will be full. Excuse me. Which is what we want. Because now we're going to be putting seeds in. So there you go, folks. So we always pre-water, pre-moisten our mix. We always buy, when we're starting our seeds, we always buy pods that come in this type of setup where they've got a tray with water underneath, right? Because we don't want to be dumping water on top of our seedlings, and then that they have a dome. So, and then you'll see underneath, not on this one, we'll show you another one, is that they're also going to be on top of a warming mat. Because you need to have, for seeds, it's different for all of them, but 70 degrees is kind of the standard. This soil has to be moist, and it has to be at 70 degrees in order for most seeds to germinate. It's just what it is. There's certain seeds that you get into, like petunias. They need 70 degrees, they need the moisture, and they also need sunlight. So the light's got to be on them in order to germinate. They will not germinate in the dark. A lot of other stuff doesn't matter. You just put them out, they'll germinate. Then you can move them to the light or keep them on the light, whatever. But petunias are the little annoying one. Okay, I got a couple spots here still. They look like they were flat. Got a couple more I just got to fill in. We're going to go get some marigold seeds. Start on marigolds. So they're just over here. Where are they at? They should be just over here. Where are you guys at? Those are not marigold. Those are not marigold. These are marigold. Here we go. Okay, so had to find them. So we're gonna do some marigold seeds here. Now marigold seeds are easy to get. You just deadhead your flowers and there they are. Matter of fact, I think I still have some left over. Yeah, here you go. Here you go, show you. So this is a dead marigold flower. See how it just kind of cramps up there? If we do this, actually no, hold on. There they go. Yeah, these are underdeveloped. Let me get you a better one. This guy. Here we go. This one's more developed. Sorry about that. Here. There you go. Marigold. Should be a couple more in there. Don't be stingy. There they go. So here's the deal, and this is what I want everyone here to know. When you go and buy marigold seeds from like your local whatever, you're gonna get maybe two times this amount. That's literally 2 marigold like deadheads. That's it. So if you can, when you have your marigolds, when they die, right, they deadhead them, save the heads, save yourself some money. It's that easy to get the seeds. That easy. And we're gonna use these ones since I got them. All right, so with this, I'm gonna use our other tool that we got from Organo Republic. It came in the seed packets that I'm using this year, testing out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bury these guys down. And typically it is basically twice the depth they are. Twice the depth as wide as they are. So we're going to do these guys about a 1/4 inch, just kind of get them in the ground. And that's pretty standard for your flower seeds, except for like petunias. They are surface. But for the most part, what do we got here? Get out of here, you. Most part, it's about a 1/4 inch. So you're going to eyeball it. At the end of the day, it's nothing really to worry about. When you are doing, come on, where are you at? Okay, I guess we're all good. We're all good there, okay. There it is. Just checking, I got a couple larger pieces in here. But again, this is what I was talking about, why I don't really worry about doing the, come on Ryan, use your words, screening my potting soil mix, like when I do it with this, because I can just do that as is needed. I can just make sure that it's a clear runway for my seeds. Okay, and these guys will be ready to go in 6 weeks, right about the time that I'm going to have these. I'm going to put a whole bunch all around my entire garden. Last year I did 3 trays. I'm going to do 1 tray this year. Not going to do as many, but I'm going to go throw a bunch of seeds around and just kind of let them grow wherever they want to this year. Naturally germinate instead of this. So this is going to get me started. I've got plenty of flowers around the garden itself, but you know, we're going to be good. All of the pollinators are going to have their stuff. So again, just going to take the seeds here. We're going to drop them in, let them do their thing. And with these, see how they're kind of hard to look at them here, but you see how they're kind of like a little knife, right? Point. You want to have that point down. They're designed when they come out to stick into stuff and to stick into the ground. So we're going to do that for them. Give them a little help there. Again, does it matter? Not really. There's enough energy in this thing for it'll get started if it's horizontal, but we're going to help it out by having it down. Now, they've done tests on this, by the way. You can go find on YouTube, there's people who have tested their marigolds to see if pointy side down is right, pointy side up is right, or horizontal. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, but I know this is how they grow, so I'm just gonna help it out. Now again, I'm hoping to get an 80% germination rate on this. If I get more than that, I'll be happy. What am I doing? I got tons of seeds here. I'm like doling these out like they're made out of like gold or something. Good Lord, I got an entire bag of these. Double it up, Ryan. Forgot what I was doing for a second. Good Lord. So that's the other thing. Marigold seeds, when you start collecting them, you're going to get 1 billion. I mean it. 1 billion. Look at that. That's just from a few heads, right? So don't be skimpy with the seeds. You're gonna thin them out when you get a chance. Good Lord. Forgot what I was doing for a second here. Marigolds, man. Now these are just the common marigolds. They're not the French ones. Which the French, if you're looking for companion plants for your vegetables and your tomatoes and stuff, right? They always talk about marigolds. These are not the marigolds that you want. You want the French variety, okay? And they're narrower. They're not as like bushy like our style these are the bush style. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for companion plants. I found that one out the other day. I was like, oh, that was last year. I was like, oh, okay, it's the French variety. Not us American, bushy style. Well, anyways, hope everybody is enjoying the stream. If you're new on here, obviously say hi. It's good to see you. We are, my name's Ryan. I'm just a dude in his greenhouse, not like a professional or anything. Just out here on YouTube, sharing stories about gardening and life in general, what's going on. So hopefully, again, like I say, hopefully earn your subscription. You're enjoying what's going on here. This is, like I said, I love this. I'll be out doing some mushrooming here in the next week or so. I went out yesterday, checked my spots. Looking good. Yeah, and for my the owner of the property, I've got to do some. He told me to keep an eye out for tree stands because there's been people trespassing and killing his deer on his property. And I was just out there for about 45 minutes, just kind of scouting my spots. 3 tree stands. So I'm going to be the new owner. He said I could take them. I'm going to be the owner of 3 new tree stands for the people that are trespassing on the guy's property. I go sell them on Facebook. I just don't understand. I mean, listen, when I was younger, when I was a kid, yeah, we went on we went on other people's property. That happened. I'm not going to deny that stuff. But if you're an adult and you're trespassing on someone else's property, come on, man. It's crazy. We're all armed up here too. Like, that's probably the craziest part. So, all right, let's keep on going here. Just cruising. Again, we're just getting these marigolds in. So many marigolds. And like I said, that bag, I'm going to just be sprinkling them out and around to make sure that we get good coverage in the garden. Should be moving my other chickens, the ones that I have that are in the brooder. I should be moving those in with my other girls here in the next I say week or so. It should be warm enough. I can put them out there. Not too worried about it at that point. I can come back there and just recover all this with some soil. But these are, by the way, these are hands down some of the most annoying seeds to work with. These marigold seeds, they're just annoying. Only got to do it a couple times a year. Basically, whenever it's when I'm deadheading or when we're planting, and after that, they're just the orange flowers that all the pollinators like. And like I said, we want as many pollinators around the garden as we can. Like, that is the goal. Cool. All right, so there's that. Let's put the rest of them out there. Time to re-glove up, and we're gonna top these in a little bit, and then get them on with some soil. All right. So yeah, these marigolds, they'll be up here. They germinate quick. That's the one thing. I'll know how well I'm doing here in about a week, which is fine. And if they're not doing their thing, it is what it is. But these germinate quick. The other ones, the cleomes, they take a little bit longer. So I won't know if how many of those seeds are viable for a little bit longer. But that's okay. We got time. Again, just trying to bury these guys down some, nice and gentle like. Nothing. Ain't trying to break nobody. Got enough of them though. I ain't too worried about that. And then we're gonna come through and it's gonna pile a little more dirt on top of here. Nice little light coating, so everybody's covered. The thing with the marigolds, they want to be buried down. They do. They just need to come in contact with the soil. Like, that's the thing. Again, light coating. Not trying to do too much here. Just enough so they're covered. You got to remember, these plants, they're designed to deal with like spring rains and the mud and all the other stuff, so they can get through. 1/4 inch is preferable, but if they end up being a little bit deeper than that, it ain't gonna stop them. They're gonna be like, we got you, fam, we got it. Cool. All right, so there's that. Marigolds, love it. I need to write that down because I'm gonna forget which ones are which. Do I have my marker? That's always the question. Does my marker exist? There it is. Haha. Now let's just see if it'll write. That's the next piece. Clean that off real quick. It is Mare E Gold. And today is tax day. I paid my taxes yesterday. That hurt. That hurt yesterday. Today's a better day. So marigold today is 4/15. All right, so we always just want to put, like I said, I can't stick the thing sticking up there, so I just lay it out. Always put the date that whenever you're doing, so like for these, I'm not really worried about like when these are going to fruit and everything, because they're not, right? They're flowers. So I just put the day that I plant them on, so that way I kind of know where they're at and keep an eye on their germination. Everything else that you do, like for instance, these cucumbers, you want to put on there what they are, the date of planting, and then on the back end here, these are the Oregano Republic. This is just cucumbers. They're going to tell you back somewhere on this thing back here, like for instance, is right here, 96 days to harvest. So like you want to know how long it's going to be for harvest, so that way you can plan. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Hopefully when you're doing your garden, you're doing a little planning about when stuff is going to be fruiting, when it's not, so you have ideas about that. That's important. We can talk about that more. We'll talk more about that later on another show. And move this guy over here. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of round robin here. All right, gotta move this guy over here. Say my onions, right? They got to move over here. We're going to go in the garden here. Just let them do their thing. This is moving down to, I have a warming mat and I have lights that are going to be over the top of these guys. down here. They don't need to be up in the sunlight right now. We're just going to hit them with this so they can be getting light here. Okay, and then we are going to move on to our next bit. So we've got to do some mixing. So it's going to be our second round of potting soil, of our seed starting mix, potting, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, right? All right, so we're going to do this. So appreciate y'all hanging out while we do a little bit of a scenery change here. All right. Trying to do it left-handed. Don't know if I'm succeeding. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so we're gonna get this mixed up now. And we don't need much. Like I saying, I'm just doing another 2 sets of seeds here. These are done, and then I've got zinnias here. And I got cleomes as well. So the zinnias will be fine. They're easy enough to put in. The cleomes the same way. This is just more. It takes a little bit of time to do. So we're starting with. Show you what we got here. Our coconut husk that we've got, and I do a third of the barrel, which is basically about half of one of the bricks that they come in. They come in these bricks when you order them. See that here. And then we're going to do, the rest is going to be potting soil. And we will, come here, you. Get up here. There we go. Cool. And what we're going to do is basically just mix this up. Give it a nice little mix here. Get it started. We want to have good distribution of all the coconut down. And what the coconut does, it holds on to moisture really well. It just likes to hold on to it. So I'm not as worried about this stuff staying hydrated in here. It's one of the things in the greenhouse. There's days where I'm traveling where I might not be able to get in here, so I'm not too worried about stuff getting watered. All right, and then the last bit, you want to get your mixing stick. Again, you can find this at any tree, a mixing stick. They're there. If you have a table to do this, tabletop in a larger greenhouse, I recommend that. But I'm just in this little guy. It's a 6x6x16 greenhouse. Nothing crazy. And the last bit here is, well, the second to last bit. We're going to hydrate this up. We always want to add water to your potting soil ahead of time to kind of force the water into the mixture, because the potting soil doesn't like to soak up water. So we're gonna help it out here. There you go. Cool. Making good time here. All right, so we're on to our next one here. Where'd you go? Oh, here you go. Come here, homie. Get you guys reset up over here. And we'll get our zinnias done. How are we doing on time? All right, it's 4:10. Is that all right? Okay. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right, we're up and running. So now next up is going to be getting this full and then getting it set for our zinnias, which are here, which I deadheaded from all of our zinnias that we had outgrowing. I had a ton growing, and the seeds are actually, the birds love them. I was really surprised how many were left, because typically I don't see that many. Typically, I don't see that many left. Normally what happens is the birds get all the zinnia seeds, but they left me some this year, so I didn't have to pay for zinnias. Well, hopefully. They should. Again, we're operating under the assumption that there's going to be a decent germination rate with these. You know, it's always an assumption. Never know how it's going to go, but we will see. All right. I'll get done here. I got to go feed the pups. Then I got to run and go to the grocery store. You know, today was a lot of calls, and I didn't get a chance to get stuff done in town like I would want to. So that's a thing, which is fine. Just grab some. Ooh-wee. Man, I got reflexes like a puma. Look at that. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Sorry, getting a little violent over here. With my seed stuff here. All right, so same thing as before. We're gonna go through, and now we're gonna press them all down. Right. And we're gonna. Now I can't change it up this time. I was hoping, but not the case. So we end up doing this basically 3 times here, folks. We're gonna come through and we're pressing all the pods down to make sure that we don't have any air pockets. Air pockets are bad. Air pockets make for bad seed growth. So we want to do that. Then we're gonna come in, put some more down, because the zinnia seeds are just gonna be a 1/4 inch down, just like our marigolds were. See, get that out of there. That's no good. Refill all these. Okay. Then we're gonna come put our zinnia seeds down, and then we're gonna recover everybody again. It's just real simple process here. We've been through it once, kind of showed you guys we can cruise a little bit. Then we're gonna take our Organo Republic. I love these guys. Again, not sponsored. I just love to talk about them. We're just going to go through and make our depressions, because we're going to come back through and dump some more stuff on here one last time. Someday soon, folks, someday soon, I'm going to invent, for me, the push down, make all the holes at once thing. I'm going to do that. I don't know when that's going to be, because while I like Zen stuff, like this is so cathartic to be able to come through and put all these little holes in here. When you do it 1,000 times in the spring, it's not as cathartic as you think it would be. Yes, for some reason it doesn't. It rings a little hollow. We'll just say that. Okay, there's that. Come on. There's a few things I'm probably going to invent at some point and make things better in the garden. There's a few. I've got ideas. Okay, so anyways, and the zinnias, I love them too, because they're so, once they get going, the multiple colors that you can get, I put them on my corner this year. I'm going to put perennials in it this year, so these zinnias are going to go around my garden as well too. Randomly around the house in just different areas. But these zinnias on the corner, the street corner, I had the whole basically chunk of it there is 20. I'm trying to think here, 20? No, it was probably 30 feet by, with a little 15-foot arch right for the corner, all completely filled with zinnias last year, and they didn't really take off till July, and then all of a sudden they just went nuts. They were huge. I mean, I had there was multiples that were, I'm comfortable saying that were well over 2 foot. Actually, there's a couple that were over 3 foot tall. And in my area, because of our growing season in Michigan, that's nuts. They should not get that big. But they took off on me. I didn't give them any fertilizer or nothing. Just kind of abused them, to be honest. I forgot about them for a while. Let's just let the rain handle it. But whatever it was, I had stuff growing in there before. I always have something growing. Maybe it was the plants I had in there beforehand, or I did. Actually, you know what? That might be part of it. That's the first year I had, what did I have in there? What words I'm thinking of here? I had bulbs in there. So I had different types of tulips in there. So they did get some growing ahead of time. And that's the thing, folks. If you're looking to get into gardening and you want to be in gardening, your goal is not to grow plants. I know it seems weird to say that. When you're gardening, that's not what your focus needs to be on. Your focus needs to be on growing, is nurturing healthy soil. If you get the soil right, the plants know what to do. They'll figure it out. They just need the soil to be good because they need the microbes in there, that the bacteria, the fungus that live in there to help them do their thing. It's one of the reasons I like mushroom hunting so much. So mushrooms, especially the morels, they are in a symbiotic, not a parasitical, but a symbiotic relationship with certain trees in their area, right? It varies kind of where you're at. They find the tree type that they want to be. I know what we have with ours. I don't say it out loud here. There's two in particular in this area, two types that they love. And they have I don't say it out loud and never mention it to the family members either. The redhead's going to know this year. So redhead, if you're watching, need your silence. But I look for tree types. I don't look for, I don't look for the mushrooms. I look for the trees. All right. And I guess that's kind of what we had happen here. We're getting the soil built up the right way. So that's what I want you guys to do. And that's what we do on this channel. We focus on building healthy soil. So there's compost that goes in that I make, leaf mold. I'm constantly trying to put more organic matter into the right type, not just like wood chips. I do have wood chips because I need to get a start on it. But we are constantly looking at ways to add organic matter back into the soil, along with the different minerals and stuff that they need. So this year I'm going to get a soil test. Michigan State just sent it down there at the end of the year, so I can see what I have. I don't want to do it now. I want to see what happens after I do my stuff this year. Okay, that's the plan. Okay, so we've got this. I just want to kind of clear this out. Seeds are in. They're down. They'll be fine. Cool. All right. So these are my zinnias. Same thing we did last time. We're going to put in a little note, put in just a little stake here so I know who's who and what's and who's what's where, all the things, right? We're going to do all that. Just need one of these, which is going to be the name. These are zinnias. These are ones that I deadheaded. Zinnia. Oh man, that sun's coming out. Thank goodness. I have to go check. We're going to check on the chickens here in a little bit. Zinnia, and today is 4/15. Happy tax day, everybody. Yay for us in America. If you're elsewhere, don't celebrate with us because it's really not a celebration. Nothing like having your money go to people who are going to go waste your stuff. Okay. And by the way, that's me speaking as an elected official, FYI. Like, I know what goes on. Where are my covers at? What the heck? How do I not have just a boatload of these around? That doesn't make sense. Hold on, I'm missing... What am I missing here? Where are they at? Come on, guys. Oops. Why do I not see them? I only have one? No. Come on, guys. Oh, there they are. That's why. I hit them right... No, that's those. That doesn't make any sense. I should have like a metric ton of those in here. Where would they be hiding? So he was just using them. Well, I guess it's going to be an adventure for another day because I need to keep going on here. I got Cleomes to get, and I got a life to live, so we'll figure that out. So we will find the tops for these. That's weird. I know I'm just going to look and see it and be like, oh, it's right there, Ryan. Yep, it's right there, Ryan. Here we go. See, it's right there, Ryan. Knew I'd say it. Zinnias. Activate. Go. All right, now so the last one here is going to be the Cleomes. Where did they go? Did they just end up in here? So I had an incident with my Cleomes, which is not good. And I think I just had to save as many as I could, because basically they got dumped. And so I'm looking for is, did they end up? Yeah, they did. Okay. So I might not be doing Cleomes today, it looks like. Yeah. Well, no. Where are they at? They should be in here. So I'm going to get everything ready for Cleomes and then try to figure out why I don't have any Cleomes. I know something. Man, I can't remember where I put them. We had like an actual accident where I had them kind of fly all over the place, which wasn't good. So, all right, well, hey, listen, I am going to end the stream right here, folks. Listen, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Be sure to subscribe to those that did today. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I will see you next stream.